Hey guys, welcome. I just wanted to introduce you to a good friend of mine. Her name is Jennifer, and she owns the Bread and Butter restaurant here in Jasper. I guess it's a restaurant. Do you call it a restaurant?
I don't know. I don't know what it's classified as anymore.
There's no indoor eating there. It's mainly grab and go stuff, and she also makes take-it-home meals, which are really, really good and tasty. Her story is really interesting because she follows her dreams, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be visiting her store and talking about how to follow our dreams and when the perfect time to follow those dreams are. So before we go any further, let's jump back to earlier in the day whenever I went to visit your store. Let's take a look at that.
Okay.
Alright guys, I am here at Bread and Butter. It's a wonderful place, so let's go.
I started Bread and Butter with a friend in 2014, and that culminated from me being a working mom and needing a way to have a break. When I got home between 5:30 and 6 at night, I was tired. I didn't want to go grocery shopping. I didn't want to have to mess up the kitchen and do that. And the kids didn't want to eat out every night. They wanted food, like real home-cooked food. And I thought, there's gotta be something. And there was nothing. I couldn't find anything. So my friend and I decided to open up Bread and Butter and create our own. And we wanted to give other moms a break, which turned out to be other people a break, not just moms like me. It became just people that worked, people that were retired. And they said, you know what? Cooked all my life. I'm ready to have someone else do it for me. Or they lived alone or just two people, and they said it's too hard sometimes to make a meal just for two people, so I do it for them.
Let me tell you, her food is really, really good. Sorry for the people that live too far away and can't eat this food, but
Stay tuned.
It is really good. Oh, do you have a solution for that?
We are working on it, actually. We're working on a delivery
Awesome.
way to get those. So we're actually practicing now, cross country, because we want to be able to have other people have our food. There are other places that do this around the country, but most people do kits where you still have to cook them when you get home. We want to do it to where they don't have to do that. They just have to heat it up and eat it. That's what we want.
Just basically heat it up in the oven, or dish it out, put it in a microwave, and you are set for the night.
Yes, and no mess. Nobody wants that. When you come home from work, that's the last thing you want, is to have to make a mess and then clean up your kitchen.
I am a really horrible housekeeper.
If you eat out of the pan, just a little tip, eat out of the pan, then you have no mess, no dishes, no anything.
Guys, this is a game changer. You have another project that I'm really excited about. It's really, really neat. So why don't you talk about it a little bit?
It's called the Wagon Wheel, and I based that name from my grandfather's business when he started a business before I was born, when my dad was young, and it was a restaurant, and it was called the Wagon Wheel, and he owned it for several years. And when I got my own restaurant and started that, I always harken back to that, to when my grandpa owned his own business. And I remember the struggles that he had and the stories he would tell. And as I started my own business and I started talking to other small businesses, I started learning about all the things that we all had in common. So small businesses all have kind of the same struggles. And I wanted to be able to do something to help small businesses. And I didn't know what it was going to be. And then I started thinking, you know what if we all just formed a community and had one place where people can go to that's convenient. Everyone wants convenience. They can start to discover other small businesses that they never knew of. And from everywhere. It doesn't just have to be Jasper. It can be anywhere. But they're small businesses. And why not have a place where people can come and, like, I have a website, I have social media.
Links to all that's going to be in the description, by the way.
Just to get people to start to discover these wonderful little hidden gems. You talked about in your last video, Elements on the Square. It's a great store. And that's a great small business that I think people from all over would appreciate, because she's got handmade things there that you're not going to find if you go to a big box store. But you'll find them in those little small shops. And that's what I want. I want people to be able to discover these places. And small businesses don't just consist of retail or restaurants. I mean, they can be people that have service industries. You know, think of plumbers, electricians, doctors, dentists. All of these are small businesses, but we don't always know where to go to find those people. So
what is the ultimate goal of the Wagon Wheel?
To promote small businesses in a way that they can be discovered from, have a customer base from everywhere, not just within their small little niche. It's very hard sometimes for small businesses to be able to afford a lot of advertisement. So this is a way for people to discover them. If we all pull together and go to one place, they can see these small businesses without the small businesses having to foot that bill. That's a big one. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to help them to gain more business and just be more visible to people from everywhere and all walks of life. Because there's so many really cool stores, and I think that in a small business you get the kind of service that you don't get in a big business. When I go to a small business, especially in town, because we're in a small town, I can go in, and if I don't know the owner, they're probably there. They're probably there, and you know what they want? They want to help you, because every single sale matters to them. Whereas a lot of times in a big business, they're looking at the big sales. We as small owners, we just want just that one customer. That makes all the difference for us.
Right.
And I'm not alone in that.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And the thing about all these small businesses that I really, really like is that it's a lot more tangible to see the effects of what your dollar is doing. You can see who the dollar is going to. Whenever you spend $1 in the big box store, that goes to who knows where.
Who knows? Well, another thing that another small business owner brought to my attention, and I never thought about it, and it was such a great point. She said, you know, when you go to a ball field, hopefully we'll get there someday, and you see these teams out. You don't see teams that have that big name on their their team for their sponsorship. You see one of the local businesses that maybe it's an insurance company, maybe it's a doctor's office, maybe it's a retail store, but that's who's sponsoring those kids and making a difference in their own communities.
Right.
So that's why it's important for you to spend your money in small businesses, because those are the ones that help the whole community.
Right.
Those are the ones that give the donations for, if you have a fundraiser or something.
Right.
They make the most difference in your own community.
Whenever you help people in your community by shopping local, those people also give back to your community. And that really helps everybody reach their goals and dreams. So was it always your dream to own your own business?
I don't know if it was always my dream, because I never thought it was attainable. No one ever told me that was even an option, really. I didn't start out that way, but I like the idea of service and helping others, and this was a way to do that. And I got to own my own business, and now that I've done it for a few years, now I'm learning about entrepreneurship and owning a small business, and I like it. I like that a lot. It's becoming more and more of a dream, if that makes sense.
So you're living out a dream as you're going along.
It's like I've changed my goals constantly. I don't really just have a straight path, because things change, your life changes, and this is something that came about that I never expected. Mm-hmm. When I was in college, I never looked at anything and thought, I'm going to own a business like this one day. But as your life changes, you have different things pop up, and that came about, and I'm so glad it did. I mean, I'm so grateful that it did. There were so many other things that it's led to, and it's helped me with, that I'm so glad that this is my path now.
I see you as a very happy person. And a lot of people think that the only way that they can be happy is if they set themselves a rigid goal, and then they go for that goal, and then they attain that goal, and then they get happy. Well, you said something earlier that really, really struck a chord with me. You said your goals weren't really rigid. They were fluid, and they've changed over time. And like, even goals now, you didn't think that they would be your goals before. Has that led to a happier life for you?
I think so, but I think the main thing is you have to find happy now. You can't look to it in your future. You can't look to something and say, I'll be happy when. You need to be happy now. You need to find things in your life. There's got to be something. Everybody's got something that can make them happy now, and that actually makes it easier. That's like, it's like clearing the path for you. If you can find your happiness now, you can get a clearer path to those goals.
And for some people, they're going to say, well, there's nothing, I can't be happy right now because I have X, Y, and Z going on. But there's always something. There's something, no matter how small it is, that you can pick out, that you can be happy in that moment, right?
Exactly. You can make a positive out of anything. You can make a positive out of anything. Even if you have something bad going on in your life, you can look at it as a lesson. Well, this is what this is teaching me, and this is what I'm going to get out of this, is it's going to be good. And if you still struggle with those kind of things, you can look at basic things, like something as basic as, I'm so grateful that I have this bed to sleep in. When you wake up in the morning, I'm so grateful that I have this heat. It's cold right now in Indiana. I have this heat in my home. I have toothpaste and water and things that we just take for granted. Mm-hmm. Just find little things, and those will culminate, and suddenly you can have happiness.
Right. If you just count every little blessing and just every little thing, that's where you find your happiness. Look at the small things, right? Just look at that small
And I think
things.
it's okay to change your goals. Because again, as you go, you may come across something in your path that says, oh, wait a minute, this looks a little bit more enticing. Let me try this. That doesn't mean that you've given up. It just means you just took a little detour and you're just changing the route.
Right.
You're still going to get to that ultimate goal, I think, which for everyone is to be happy. Mm-hmm. But we can find happiness where we are.
Your goals that you have for yourself, they need to be things that you can control, right? Like, you can't control how many people come to your store, but you can control the quality of food that goes out. I can't control how many people watch this video, but I can control the quality of the video, and I can always improve on the things and make it better. Each little time that I do it, make it just a little bit better.
Exactly.
And you just take those small steps, and it just that's how you take those steps to get to your goal.
I can't see from here to California, but I could drive to California if I just look at a little bit of road as I go. I'll eventually make it, but you don't have to see the whole route.
Right. And by the way, I have an email newsletter that goes out every Monday. And it's called the Happiness Handout. And it comes out every Monday, and it gives you like a little thing to think about every day of the week. It has something to think about on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It breaks it down for you. And then there's self-reflection questions at the end, or on the side there. And it's just something to think about this week to help increase your happiness. And this week's happiness handout, the link is going to be in the description for you to sign up, is all about your dreams and your goals and when the perfect time to follow your dreams and goals is. When do you think the perfect time to follow your dreams is? Should you wait until you have things lined up?
No, because you'll never get to that point.
Right.
There's never a perfect time. Do it.
The perfect time is now. Do it now. Start your goals now. Start your dreams now. The most important part is that you start.
I totally agree with that.
So the like, comment, and subscribe buttons are going to be somewhere here. So click them and like it and whatnot. Okay?
Give them a thumbs up.
Really appreciate all of it. And watch the next video.